Good morning. Thank you for joining us for meditation. And I'll just start by doing the sound bowl. And I invite you to take a few deep, centering breaths. And close your eyes if it feels comfortable. And just relax your body. And continue breathing deeply. Feeling that God presence within. That presence that is perfect, infinite love, divine peace within us at all times. Knowing that oneness is the truth of our nature. That the divine is expressing in, through, and as each of us. Right here, right now. And we let go of all that has come before, letting go of all that is yet to be. Just being here now. Noticing any thoughts that we may be holding on to and releasing them. Noticing any sounds that we may be hearing and letting those be as well. Being completely aware that God is right here, right now. and we enter into the silence. And slowly come back to your awareness of where we are. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes. And with a couple more deep breaths, become fully present. Open your eyes slowly. And thank you for joining us for meditation. And if you are so inclined to remain in this peaceful space, feel free to. Or you may go out to the lobby and our service will resume at 10:30. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy cold Sunday. Hey, at least we get to wear our boots and our sweaters that we've had packed away forever. So get the dust off of those. So welcome to Sunday celebration at CSL CC, Cape Coral, and Cape Coral. If anybody knows what commercial I'm talking about. We are here celebrating your spiritual magnificence today. And to get us started, I think the Big Love Band probably has something really awesome for us. So let's give them some love.
Come on and stand.
I know I
and
have
join
ears
us.
in, but I don't think I heard them. Good morning. Woohoo! All right, yeah, I know. We're going to warm you up this morning with the new day.
Put those hands together. Come on.
Every day we're born again to create this world we live in. Now let us claim our good and speak our word and release it to the universe. Right here is where we make a stand. Compassion for our fellow man. Right here we're making a difference. It's a new day. All together hand in hand. Compassion for our fellow man. Right now we're making a difference. It's a new day. Every day I'm filled with wonder by the glory of the silent thunder unfolding from down under. And with no wonder, right here is where we take our stand. Compassion for our fellow man. Right here we're making a difference. It's a new day. All together hand in hand. Compassion for our fellow man. Right here we're making a difference. It's a new day. Every day I'm born again to create this world we live in. Now let us claim our good and speak our word and release it to the universe. Right here is where we make a stand. Compassion for our fellow man. Right here we're making a difference. It's a new day. All together hand in hand. Compassion for our fellow man. Right now we're making a difference. It's a new day.
Have we warmed up yet? Awesome. So if you have any questions about any of the announcements or anything going on at our center today, we have an information table in the back over by the door as you come in and out, and someone will be there after service to answer any questions. And a huge, huge thank you to the beautification team for all the people who help with their sacred service for our center. Melissa Arterberry, I was going to mention those names. Melissa Arterberry, Liz Burton, Patty Carney, Griffin, little Griffin was here helping, Chris Lahav, Cheryl and Ralph and Phyllis and Alicia, Roger and Reagan and Nathaniel. Wow, that crew's getting bigger. No wonder we're getting more beautiful. Give them a hand. And we have another beautification day, Saturday, February 3rd, 9 to 11. So it is so much fun. Hope to see you join us for that. And every Wednesday, we have a midweek tune-up where we have a spiritual discussion with a reading of the Science of Mind magazine, and it meets from noon to 1:30 in the lobby if the weather is not permitting outside, otherwise under the big beautiful trees outside. So please join us for that. And right now, thank you for remaining standing. Oh, it's not our blessing time. But we do want to let you know that Ernest Holmes is the founder of our spiritual philosophy, and that we teach the universal truths found in all spiritual teachings, both traditional and contemporary. So please do visit our website. Got lots of information there for you at cslcapecoral.org. And there you'll find all of our upcoming events. You can submit a prayer request and send us your comments and questions. And thank you to Cheryl Leesberg, who is sitting over. She is holding the high watch during our service today, and what that means is that she's just in a state of lovely consciousness, just knowing the highest and greatest best for everybody here, everyone watching, everybody in the world, as a matter of fact, and holding the highest and greatest best for this service. So great thanks to her. And now I think we are going to have another amazing selection from the Big Love Band. So give them some love.
Let's go, son.
There's a feeling in the air so rare that you can't deny.
I don't know about you, but I'm warmed up now. And I also like that. What was that lyric about the virus, the joy virus? I like that. I know we've all been moving through a little bit of illness around here, and I like the idea of a joy virus. Yay. Yay. So thank you for remaining standing. Wow, we have such a full house today. How amazing. So I know it is cold outside, but it's warm inside. The weather is delightful, right? Isn't that how it goes? Anyways, let us warm our hands together, preparing for this amazing blessing to one another. So read with me the words on the screen. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. We know who you truly are. You are the spiritual image and likeness of God. We appreciate you, we love you, and we are thankful you are here. Welcome to the center. Yes. And whether you are here in person or you are watching us online, Kat, I know you're out there. We miss you. We send you lots of love. Yeah. So, please do, if you're interested, join our team, our marketing team. We are looking for people to share their knowledge and marketing experience. Mixed with other website knowledge, you would be a great blessing to our center. So we can totally fill up all of these seats in here and just bring our message of a world that works for everyone out into the greater and larger Cape Coral, Fort Myers area. So please sign up at the information table if that's of interest to you, or speak with Reverend Chris. He can answer questions for you. And do we have another announcement? Okay, Divinely Aligned Women of Peace and Power, a Circle of Oneness. First Sunday of each month, 2 to 4 p.m., a $20 participation fee at the door. Join our Circle of Oneness to recognize and release any blocks to magnificence that you are. And that is facilitated by our lovely Melissa Arterberry. Would you like to say anything about that, Melissa? Okay, great. And if you've never done anything with Melissa, I am in the A Course in Miracles group with her and Patty, and it is just a wonder and a loveliness to behold. So I highly recommend that. And next Sunday, hello everybody. What is next Sunday? All right, so we're all going to remember to bring something, right? All right. And bring a dish, and we move chairs around and set up tables, and we just have a lovely time fellowshipping. And there's some pretty good cooks around here, so I do recommend that you stay for that. So we are going to have another amazing song from our Big Love Band, so let's give them some more love.
This tune came as a result of a Karen Drucker workshop on setting your intentions, incidentally. And she said, write down an intention that you're going to do tomorrow. This is a Sunday afternoon. So on Saturday, what's the next day after that? Monday. Monday morning, you get confused up here with the lights on you. Monday morning, write down an intention that you're going to do Monday morning, and then Monday morning, look at that intention and do it. And so I thought the intention should be that I should write a song. And what should I write a song about but setting your intentions? So. Just set your intentions, make them part of your plan. Do what you must to make it your reality, because you know that you can.
First start out with a good foundation class. Build on it up to the top. Add layers to it like a tapestry. Don't give up, don't ever stop. Just set your intentions. Set your intention. Make it part of your plan. Set your intention. Do what you must to make it your reality. Set your intention. Because you know that you can. If you just set your intentions. Set your intention. In the morning when you rise. Set your intention. Keep them right there in front of you. Set your intention. They will materialize. Just set your intention. Set your intention. Just set your intention. Set your intention. Just set your intention. Set your intention. Because you know that you can. Thank you. Thank you, band.
Isn't this a great place to be? That was like, as you guys were playing, that reminded me of Jerry Garcia meets Jimmy Buffett. We got the tropical thing going on here. And now at this point, all of the young people who wish to attend our amazing youth program, which seems to be growing, yay. Is there another slide, Cassie? Thank you. It is my great honor and pleasure to welcome up our amazing and wonderful practitioner, John Coriel, who's going to deliver this week's reading and prayer for us. So please give a welcome to John.
Ah, boy. A lot of good stuff indeed. And I started out looking for something to bring to service today, and nothing seemed to click. I had a humorous little thing, and then I went to the Science of Mind textbook, which is something you could always turn to and find something in there. And I came up with this. When we know our oneness with God and law, what a great burden is removed. Any sense of opposition is removed from the consciousness which perceives unity. That which we call our subjective mind, is but a point in universal mind, where our personality maintains its individualized expression. And that expression is of spirit. If we think of ourselves as being separated from the universe, we shall be limited by this thought. For it is belief in separation from God that binds and limits us. We are bound by nothing except belief. They could not center in it because of their disbelief and their belief in the Holy One of Israel. I like that, and he has it in capital letters there, that we are bound by nothing except belief. So we just know right here and right now, as we take this into prayer for a moment, and take that into, while we're at it, into the silence, and holding anyone or any situation that you know, in holding that in mind, just knowing the perfection and the wonderful unfolding of that good right here and right now. And we know for our wonderful cat, Callahan, that she is in the midst of that wholeness and perfection, here and now and always. So we just say thank you, God, and the rest of this celebration service just unfolds in the most magnificent way. And we just can say thank you, God. Thank you for that good here and now. And as we know that to be so, together we can say, and so it is. Yes, yes, yes. And our speaker for today is a young lady you have seen many times, I know, up here at the podium. Melissa Tuff has always described herself as spiritual and not religious. She was born and raised in Michigan and found herself being uninvited. Found that kind of funny, but it's not funny really, is it? Being uninvited from many churches that she had attempted to attend, shall we say. She had all been given up on finding a belief practice that made sense. Later in life, she was hit by a cosmic 2x4. Ever been hit by one of those? And located into southwest Florida in October of 2010. Soon after, a friend invited her to a Buddhist meditation group in Naples, and she began practicing regularly with them because of how different that felt just when she went into meditation. Upon moving to Cape Coral, she found CSL, the Center for Spiritual Living, here where we are today. While searching Google for a meditation nearby, and immediately she knows she had found her spiritual home. I know many people have told me that when they walk through the door, they just feel like they're at home. Melissa immersed herself in classes and workshops until there were no more to take, and before she knew it, she was a fully licensed Science of Mind practitioner. She currently serves the CSL community in our Leadership Council as a trustee, and she is co-leading the 50th anniversary celebration. Can you believe it? We've got that coming up. Goody, goody, goody. The 50th anniversary celebration with Kay Atwood. Please welcome our guest speaker, Melissa Tuff.
All right, am I on? Okay. Good morning, grand rising, everyone, and a special hello to all of you joining us online. It is so wonderful to look out into this crowd and see so many faces that I love all at once in one place. So thank you all for being here, whether it was purposely or by divine appointment. It is a new life. I have to tell you, when I received the global themes for January and I began to read them, I was so excited. I mean, who doesn't love feeling good? And I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but our theme this month was it's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life, and I'm feeling good. And so, before I let my inner roommate talk me out of delivering a talk on this, because it's a new life, those of you who know me probably know why I would have wanted this. But I had already drafted my email to Reverend Chris and just said, this is calling to me. I need to speak on this. And so here I am. Pop quiz. Between 38 and 42 weeks. Does anyone know the significance of these numbers? Yes, B in the back, you get an A, yes. That is the human gestational period. So it's the time on average that it takes the human body to create new life, in the literal sense. Question number 2, 44 years. Anybody have an idea of what the significance is of that?
That's what I turned the end of the year.
Mimi, I love it. 44 years is actually how long it has taken me to create a life. So, and even still, it is continuously evolving because every time I seem to think I have created a new life for myself, There you go. That's what happens. Something else speaks up. Something else wells up in me and says, this isn't the life. This isn't the new life you wanted. So life has taken me on so many journeys. And I would say I'm on my third or fourth attempt. And I sure hope that Spirit is more of a cat person than a baseball person, because I certainly need more than 3 strikes. So for many, the thought of new life often brings to mind like birth or a life-altering experience such as trauma, a major health challenge, a financial windfall perhaps, or a career change, maybe a marriage. But what if I told you that we have the power and the potential to create a new life in every waking moment? That in every single breath, we can choose a new direction. We can choose a new path. We can choose a new idea. We can choose a new thought. We can choose a new feeling. We can choose a new reaction. Or rather than a reaction, we could be proactive. We are constantly at choice, and that is what I love about this science of mind philosophy, and that is why it resonated so deeply with me. Because as John mentioned in my intro, it wasn't a joke that I was uninvited from churches. I had so many questions because it just didn't make sense. All these stories from the Bible, I could pick pieces here and there that resonated with me, but there was still so much information that I felt like I did not have. And when I would ask a question, it was typically just because the Bible says so, or because God says so. And there was no other information that could back up any of this data that I was reading. And I've always been a little bit more of a scientific person, so having like data and experiments and some actual results, like it's significant to me. If I'm gonna believe in something and I'm gonna base my entire life on this, it has to have some meat to it. I have to be able to make it make sense for me. And I feel like that's why a lot of people find this particular philosophy, because we're searchers, we're truth seekers, we have questions. And so we find ourselves bouncing around from religion to religion or organization to organization, seeking the answers to these questions that well up within about how life gets to be the way that it is. Is there some force outside of ourselves that just picks and chooses and says, you're gonna have a great life, you're gonna be blessed. You, not so much. You didn't, and you might not have even done anything, and you're looking at it that way. You're like, what did I do to deserve all of this? It's not anything that anyone has done. Life just is. It is seeking fuller, freer expression by means of each and every one of us. And we all have individual, unique gifts to bring to the world. And unfortunately, it is often taught out of us by well-meaning individuals because it's passed down sort of generationally. You know, we hear of generational curses, and the biggest generational curse that I find in my personal experience is the stealing of people's dreams. It's the theft of the imagination. Because as children, we have nothing but that. And I got to experience it firsthand recently after Hurricane Ian. And who doesn't understand the new life that was birthed out of Hurricane Ian? Our community particularly was greatly affected, and there are many in this community that I know lost everything when it comes to the material, physical objects. I didn't lose everything. I was blessed enough not to. However, my home, my comfort was removed from me. And I found myself again needing to try to start a new life, and I relocated. And I got to spend a lot of time with my niece and nephew. Now, my nephew is only about 2, and so he doesn't have as much but you could see the imagination at work, but he can't really express it verbally. My niece, however, she's just turning 6, and I could tell you that she invented 10, 12 different lives for herself by noon. I mean, the imagination on this girl. Like, one minute she's a rocket scientist and she's going out to the moon, and the next she's a veterinarian and she's playing doctor with the cats, you know? And I had to sit in awe of how wonderful this was. And seeing my brother and his wife actually nurture this in her and allow her to fully express in whatever way she wants. My nephew loves the fact that mommy paints her toenails, so he wanted his done. And it surprised me because I took his socks off one day and I'm looking and I was like, oh, you got your toenails painted. That's different, you know? And it was because he wanted to express just like mommy, and it was okay. And there's so much in our world today where you see people trying to make everyone fit into a box. That you have to look this way, you have to dress this way, you have to express this way, you have to use this bathroom. And that's not what we're here for. We're not here to worry about this person and this person and this person. We're here to worry about us and turning within and creating that life that we love. Because when we do that, we become way less fixated on the external. We become way less fixated on what's happening to us. And we start realizing that life is happening through us. That we are consciously co-creating whether we choose to realize it or not. So we can either subconsciously create and continue complaining about all of the circumstances that show up in our life, or we can come to the awareness that we have an innate power, that divine power within, that proves that we are created in the image and likeness of God, of that higher power, of that infinite intelligence, that limitless substance that is back of every single creation on this planet is a part of you. And it's a part of me. And it is seeking to be bigger than what our human minds can contemplate. And the reason that many of us don't fully express is fear. What would happen if I try this and I fail? Or we had fear instilled in us because perhaps we had a dream when we were a child to be a musician, but our parents told us that there was never money to be made at that. Maybe we wanted to be an artist, but someone told us that we were never good enough. Maybe we wanted to be a singer, but someone said that we had a horrible voice, and they were just having a bad day, and they projected it on us. But that seed was planted, and we watered it, and we loved it, and we spoke to it, and we nurtured it, and we grew it into this full tree of fear, and we allowed it to shade all of the other areas of our life. We don't get to pick the fruit off of that tree because we're afraid. If we pick the fruit off of it, will the tree die? We don't get to sit under and enjoy the shade because that's a waste of time. You can't just sit around and do nothing. You have to constantly be seeking and trying and working and doing. But we're not humans doing, we're humans being. We are here to be. We are here to be the best version of ourselves. We're here to be bigger. We're here to be more. My personal goal is to be more in 2024. And so, getting back to why this spoke to me, I'm in the process of creating a new life again, third time around. My second time, most of you in the community know this, but those of you who don't, I underwent a kidney transplant in 2005. I was diagnosed with a dis-ease when I was 16, and I started dialysis on my 17th birthday. That was a new life. I went from being a healthy, happy, high school attending teenager to now being in a clinic with people in their 60s and 70s 3 times a week for 4 hours. I had to adapt. And now let me tell you, I was angry. There was a lot of anger to work through in that. And that was another reason I was so grateful for the Science of Mind philosophy, because there were things that I thought I'd worked through and released. They weren't even nearly close to being unpacked. But through all of that, I was still exhibiting a spiritual practice, unconsciously. Ernest Holmes says that we have within us a power greater than anything we shall ever contact in the outer, a power that can overcome every obstacle in our life and set us safe, satisfied, and at peace, healed and prosperous in a new light and in a new life. And that is from Ernest Holmes' text, Creative Mind, on page 25. So what does this mean? It means that there is a power in us. Oftentimes, it takes something so drastic like a death or a trauma or a dis-ease to pull that out of us, for us to recognize that power. Because how does the old saying go? You don't know how strong you are until you have to be strong. And so when you deal with something like that, it forces you to create a new life, a new way of being. Your brain has to create new pathways in order to make all of it make sense, to compartmentalize the parts that you can't deal with at that moment, just to get through. And after 9 years of being on dialysis, I received a kidney transplant. That was a pivotal moment for me, because that was the true moment that I recognized my oneness with everyone. I received an organ from someone who did not outwardly look like me. In fact, he was probably as opposite as he could have been. He was African American, he was 10 years older than me, and he was male. And they took that kidney out of this person and put it in me, and it gave me life. It allowed me to continue to stand here and be able to talk to all of you today. And after that, I realized it wasn't just about my life anymore. I was now living for someone else. This person couldn't be here anymore, and I was now carrying that legacy. And I had to be more. I had to be better. That was my second chance. Now, Mark Nepo says, being and becoming take time. And this commitment to stay open is at the very core of what it means to be a person. So when I tell you it took me 44 years to create a life, that's the understatement of the century. I plan on being here for another 44 years. And I plan on still creating a life, because I know there's always more. There is always something more that needs to be expressed by means of me. There's always something more that I can do in support of my fellow human beings. There is always something more that I can learn. And when we're creating a new life, we often inspire other people just by doing what we're doing. I would never, in my entire life, tell you that I would get up on a stage and talk to people. Although I'm a Leo who is supposed to love the limelight, I'm supposed to be very vain. I'm supposed to be all of these things that my astrological symbol wants to put me in the little box of. But I'm not. I hate public speaking. However, Spirit, in the way that it does, always seems to find ways to push me into it. This one was a little less difficult, but in all the work that I've done with the advocacy organizations to help get bills passed for other people that have dealt with things like me. I find myself being put in these positions constantly to where I have to speak or I need to use my voice. So I've come to realize that that is also part of this new life of mine, that I'm stepping more fully into that. Because there is something that everyone has to say. And there's something that everyone needs to hear. And so how do I know that I'm not the person to deliver a particular message that touches someone in such a way that they then realize the power that they have to change their life? Who am I to play small in the mind of God? If I truly believe that I am made in the image and likeness and that I'm here for powerful things, that I'm here for a purpose, that I have not only been given life by my mother, but also given life by a complete stranger. And in the process of undergoing that a third time. How many people can say that they have died? And not just to your ego, but experienced physical death. I know there's some of you in the community here that most likely have had near-death experiences and maybe even experienced a physical death. But it doesn't have to get to that point for us to shift. It doesn't have to be as drastic as a Hurricane Ian or as a traumatic event like a car accident or a death in the family. Every breath that we take is an opportunity to choose differently, to take a new path, to choose a new life. My mother, bless her heart, she had me when she was 20, and in 1979, that was young. These days, maybe not. She gave up a lot of things to have me that I didn't realize because I was so busy being an angry teenager and then processing all the stuff from my health problems and all of that. So, of course, everything was my mother's fault. As an adult, unpacking all of this through practitioner training, I actually realized how much she had sacrificed that I just didn't know about. I did recall when I was younger that she went to art school, and she was very talented. However, she grew up with people telling her she would never be good enough. There was no money to be made at what she was doing. She needed to just stop, get a real job. And so my mom threw herself into factory work and backbreaking labor. And up until like 2 years ago, she was working 2 jobs, and she's turning 65 this year. And I said, why are you still doing the same thing that you've always done when you're getting the same result? Have you ever thought about trying anything different? And she's seen the contextual changes in my life since studying the science of mind philosophy. And she just said no, she hadn't been. And so I started encouraging her and just nurturing her in whatever way I could, even though we didn't have a very close relationship. Whenever she'd send me a picture of something she made, just playing around, I would tell her how wonderful it was and that you should consider doing that and like maybe selling them. I mean, you've got Etsy and eBay and all these resources nowadays. And slowly but surely, I started to actually see my mom open up in a way that she never had before. And it's the same way that children open up when you encourage them and you tell them how wonderful their little finger paintings are or their macaroni art, or it's just that light that turns on in them. And so I'm encouraging us all today to tap a little more into that light. And not only tap into our own light, but as we go about our day, as we go about our week, as we go about our life, let's shine that light on other people as well. Let's encourage them to be all that they can be. Let's encourage and lift one another up, because there is so many things in the world that are already looking to keep us down. There's so much energy in the world that is beyond our control. So why would we want to contribute to that? Or why would we want to contribute to someone else's bad day or bad life or whatever frame that they're putting on it? It's so much easier to be kind than to be right. It's so much easier to be loving than hateful. It uses so much less energy to be happy than depressed. And I know it's easy to say when you're just talking about it and actually living it, definitely more challenging. But that is why we have spiritual practices. That is why we come back every Sunday for an uplifting message, for maybe some divine download, for the community and the uplifting of one another, for the like-mindedness, for the socialization, maybe for the potluck. I don't know. But whatever reason that you come here, there's a purpose. You are meant to be here today. There are no accidents in life. Everything is divinely guided. Everything is divinely unfolding. We may see things and think they're accidents, even if it's an accident that you're seeing. It happened for a reason. It's pushing you in a different direction. Because we're either, I'm going to get this probably wrong, we're either pushed by fear or pulled by faith. It might be transposed there, but regardless, we have a choice that we could either live in fear or we can live in faith. And when we live in faith, we are constantly creating new choices and new pathways, neural pathways, heart pathways, blood pathways. There are studies that show that when you are more positive and when you focus on the positive outcome or the optimistic outcome, that those things manifest more. Because where your attention goes, energy flows. And so ask yourself where your attention goes today. Don't judge it. Don't get too much into it. Just pay attention when a thought comes up, when you're being judgmental or when you're having some negative self-talk. Investigate it a little bit. Make a little note. Ask yourself why you would think that way. I highly recommend The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, because the discussion just about the internal roommate or the inner roommate is life-changing. And I hear a lot of you laughing because most of you have probably read that book if you're here. And so just like a little tiny bit about the inner roommate, it just goes on to say, like, would you want that person to sit next to you? The little chatterbox that's going in your mind all day saying you can't do this. Oh, I can't believe she said this about you. She must not really like you. You know, would you want to invite that person to your Thanksgiving dinner? Or is that the family member that everybody, no. Would you want to live with that person 24 hours a day, 365 days a year? Most of us wouldn't. If we really took an inventory of that voice that's constantly telling us what we couldn't do, what we can't do, what this person should do, what they shouldn't do, we would accomplish absolutely nothing in our lives, and they would not be our friend. So I'm encouraging you all today to just consider for the fact that we have the power and the consciousness to create a new life at any time we choose. We do not have to wait until things are so miserable that we're being pushed by the fear. We don't have to wait until our life is completely falling apart in order to put it together. It just takes one thought, one idea, one action to propel us in the direction of our dreams. And so let's take that into prayer. Mother, Father, God, Buddha, Krishna, Allah, so many names for for that one power, for that one source, for that one creative consciousness that is back of all things. That one power, that one presence, that one source, that infinite intelligence flows in, through, and as each and every one of us. We need only accept it, understand it, and believe that it's true. When we get out of our own way, we allow that grace, love, joy, abundance, all of those words that are synonymous for the name God, to flow into our life. When we recognize that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, we can see that oneness and divinity in others. And so as we go forth this day, this week, this month, this year, this entire life, I invite you all to spend more time within, acknowledging those divine gifts that you have, that divine power, your divine inheritance. I invite you to accept it, to make room for it in your life, and to bless others with it. From this day forth, there is no reason that you should not shine your light, because you are here for a divine purpose. You are part of a divine plan, and you are a divine, magnificent, unique expression of God in form. So I invite you to start acting like it. So for this and so much more, I am just so very grateful. And with that attitude of gratitude, I turn this day over back to God, letting it go, letting it be, knowing that the universe is always conspiring for our good. Always. And in all ways. So together we can claim and anchor this by saying, and so it is, amen. All right, thank you so much, everyone. So now is our time for conscious giving. And before I get into the many ways that you can bless our center with your gifts, I just want to give everybody a little heads up. Keep an eye on your email. We are going to be sending out a survey to discuss our tithing. In the spirit of a new life, in evolution, in growth and change, it has come to our awareness as a community that the word tithe may have some negative energy to it to some of us. I know when I first started coming here, before I took Prosperity Plus, tithing was such a dirty word to me. And I had to work that out with myself. And now I realize I don't have any energy behind it. However, we want to move and grow and acknowledge the feelings and the thoughts and the ideas of our community. Therefore, we are considering using some different lingo. And so watch your email, because there will be a survey coming out that's going to have some different words in it, and a little area where maybe you can add your own if you feel a different word speaks to you a little more. And then we will discuss it at our next community meeting. So if you're not getting our emails, you can also sign up for those, I'm sure, at the back table, or if not, then somebody that's going to be at the table will be able to help you with that. And now I can get to the many ways that you can support our community, because as John mentioned earlier, I'm part of the 50th anniversary celebration, so we want to make sure that we're here for another 50 years. So if you would also like to make sure that we are here for another 50 years serving Cape Coral and the world, this is how you can help. You can text your support to 239-320-3820, which is super simple. You text once, put in how much you want to tithe. You can do it on a regular basis. You can do it every time you get here. However you want to do it, we try to make it simple for you. You can also send your contribution through PayPal using the address PayPal@cslcapecoral.org, Or you can make it really easy on yourself and just go to our website, click the little donate button on our page at cslcapecoral.org. You can also set up automatic drafts that way. And we're old school. We still like paper checks too. So you can also mail that to Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral, 406 Southeast 24th Avenue, Cape Coral, Florida, 33990. And for those of you who are joining us in person, we will have our wonderful ushers, Kay, and I'm sorry, I don't know your name. Roberta, okay. So Kay and Roberta will be coming around to take your gifts following our tithing affirmation. So if you have your gift and you're joining us in person, and even if you're joining us from home, I invite you to take your gift and hold it in your hands, or place your hands over your heart if you're doing it virtually. And please repeat the tithing affirmation on the screen with me. Today, I know the activity of divine abundance is at work in my life and the life of this center. I give and receive generously as I live in the flow of bountiful good.
Standing as one in the presence of the power, standing where others have stood. Gladly we offer the gifts of our abundance, knowing the source of our good. Standing as one in the presence of the power, standing where others have stood. Gladly we offer the gifts of our abundance, knowing the source of our good.
Thank you, Big Love Band. So just taking all of that energy that has come from not only our service, but the musicians and everyone joining us at home, bundling it up with a big old bow and just giving it a big hug, just knowing that it is pressed down, multiplied into these gifts, knowing that the gifts that are given here today not only bless this community, they bless the giver, the receiver, and the community and the world at large, because they are so much more than just this. We are just more, and we are creating more. So these gifts are pressed down, multiplied, returned back to the giver, overflowing, knowing that that divine good is flowing through these gifts out into the community, creating that world that works for everyone. I am just so very grateful. So I say thank you, thank you, thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. Do you want the clicker?
Isn't this the greatest place? So we're about to wrap up for today, but we want to make your day. So especially if you're new, and especially if you've been here for a long time, please make our day and let us pray with you. At the end of the service, practitioners are up in front, and whether you want to celebrate something, or you want something to go away or to be better, or you want more of something, whatever it is, prayer is a way of focusing energy, and it works. But it doesn't if you don't work it. What is it, the saying that I love? If nothing changes, nothing changes. And I know this to be so in my own life. I think, Melissa, your talk today was amazing and a good reminder. Give her some more love. You know, I can speak a minute for probably most of us practitioners that we found the center And it seems like a lot of us found Buddhism before we found this center, and they're very well integrated. Buddhism came 5,000, 6,000 years ago, and Christ came about 2,000 years ago. So they are very intricately connected, as we know here that we study. It's all divinely connected. So a word for the practitioners that we just kept taking classes, and it was like feeding our souls. And we ran out of those classes. The more classes were practitioner classes, and I can speak for myself as I know I heard Melissa say that we didn't necessarily want to become practitioners or whatever it is that calls us a licensed spiritual counselor. We needed more, and just something in us drove us, and so here we are. So that's a plug for some of our classes, not necessarily that you have to become a practitioner, but take a class and definitely get a prayer before you leave here today. And do you need this back for anything? Yeah? No, that's it. So have a great day, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Please do come again, and the big band is going to sing us out.